Welcome to Framework, the podcast that makes the NIST cybersecurity framework practical, engaging, and accessible. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional, business leader, or simply curious about how organizations defend against cyber threats, this series is for you. This podcast is inspired by a comprehensive guide to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, a best-selling resource written by cybersecurity expert Dr. Jason Edwards and trusted by professionals worldwide. In each episode, we'll leverage a few insights from Jason's extensive book to dive deep into CSF 2.0, unpacking every function, category, and subcategory with real-world applications you can immediately use. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more, head over to cyberauthor.me to grab your copy of the book and access additional resources to enhance your cybersecurity journey. You can also visit baremetalcyber.com, where over 2 million people last year explored expert insights, articles, and practical tools across a wide range of cybersecurity topics. ID.IM-02, improving through security tests and exercises. ID.IM-02 ensures that organizations continuously enhance their cybersecurity posture by conducting structured security tests, simulations, and exercises to identify weaknesses, improve response readiness, and validate security controls. This subcategory belongs to the Identify function within the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework, version 2.0, emphasizing that organizations must not only establish security protocols, but also test their effectiveness through controlled exercises, red team assessments, and security validation drills. Without structured security testing and exercises, organizations risk failing to detect vulnerabilities, reacting inefficiently to cyber threats, and allowing security controls to become outdated or misconfigured over time. By improving through security tests and exercises, organizations ensure that cybersecurity teams validate their defense mechanisms, refine their incident response plans, and enhance their overall resilience against real-world cyber threats. A structured approach to security testing enables organizations to detect misconfigurations, strengthen security awareness among employees, and proactively address potential weaknesses before adversaries can exploit them. Organizations that adopt automated security validation tools, enforce structured penetration testing policies, and integrate continuous security exercise programs into enterprise cybersecurity governance improve their ability to maintain a robust and adaptive security posture. Multiple stakeholders play a role in improving security through tests and exercises. Cybersecurity operations teams and risk management analysts are responsible for designing, executing, and analyzing security tests, ensuring that vulnerabilities and misconfigurations are detected and remediated efficiently. Business executives and compliance officers ensure that security testing efforts align with organizational risk tolerance, regulatory requirements, and industry best practices. Security awareness trainers and incident response coordinators leverage testing results to enhance security training programs, improve detection methodologies, and strengthen organizational response readiness. Improving cybersecurity through tests and exercises is implemented through structured penetration testing frameworks, real-time attack simulations, and continuous security validation processes. This includes conducting red team versus blue team exercises, performing social engineering assessments, and simulating ransomware attacks to evaluate response effectiveness. Organizations that fail to implement structured security tests and exercises risk allowing undetected security gaps to persist, responding ineffectively to cyber incidents, and suffering increased exposure to adversarial threats. Several key terms define security testing and exercise methodologies and their role in cybersecurity governance. Penetration testing, pen testing, ensures that organizations simulate real-world attacks against their networks, applications, and infrastructure to identify exploitable vulnerabilities. Red Team vs. Blue Team exercises ensure that organizations train cybersecurity specialists against defenders to test security detection and response capabilities. Tabletop exercises, TTE, ensure that organizations conduct discussion-based simulations to assess incident response plans and decision-making processes under cyber attack scenarios. Purple teaming ensures that organizations integrate red team offense with blue team defense to improve threat detection and response coordination. Adversary emulation and threat hunting ensure that organizations proactively search for hidden cyber threats within their environments using real-world attacker tactics, techniques, and procedures. Challenges in improving security through tests and exercises often lead to incomplete security assessments, weak response preparedness, and failure to evolve cybersecurity strategies based on emerging threats. One common issue is lack of regular security testing, where organizations conduct penetration tests or exercises infrequently, missing opportunities to detect newly emerging vulnerabilities. Another issue is failure to act on security test findings, where organizations identify weaknesses through testing but do not implement corrective actions or track remediation progress. Some organizations mistakenly believe that automated security tools are sufficient without recognizing that human-driven security exercises provide critical insights into real-world attack vectors and response effectiveness. When organizations implement structured security testing and exercises, they enhance cybersecurity situational awareness, improve incident response efficiency, and ensure that security teams remain prepared for evolving cyber threats. A structured security testing framework ensures that cybersecurity teams assess security effectiveness proactively, business leadership aligns security investments with testing outcomes, and security teams integrate security exercise findings into continuous cybersecurity improvements. Organizations that adopt automated security validation platforms, enforce structured adversary simulation frameworks, and integrate real-time threat modeling into cybersecurity governance, develop a comprehensive security testing strategy that strengthens resilience against evolving cybersecurity threats. Organizations that fail to improve through security tests and exercises face serious security, operational, and compliance risks. Without structured security testing, businesses risk failing to detect vulnerabilities before attackers exploit them, responding poorly to cyber incidents, and allowing security controls to become ineffective over time. A common issue is treating security testing as a one-time activity, where organizations conduct annual or ad hoc penetration tests but fail to implement ongoing exercises that address emerging threats. Another major challenge is ignoring the human factor in security tests, where organizations focus solely on automated vulnerability scans but neglect phishing simulations, social engineering exercises, or employee security awareness assessments. By implementing structured security tests and exercises, organizations ensure that cybersecurity teams refine their detection and response capabilities, validate security controls against real-world attack scenarios, and continuously adapt their defensive strategies. A well-defined security testing framework prevents security complacency, ensures that security teams remain vigilant, and strengthens an organization's ability to detect and mitigate cyber threats before they cause significant damage. Organizations that deploy automated security validation platforms, enforce structured adversary simulation exercises, and integrate real-time attack detection into security governance improve their ability to detect, prevent, and respond to cybersecurity threats efficiently. At the partial tier, organizations lack structured processes for conducting cybersecurity tests and exercises, leading to infrequent or incomplete security assessments, weak response capabilities, and reliance on outdated security controls. Security testing is reactive, with organizations only conducting assessments after a security incident or regulatory requirement mandates it. A small business at this level may perform a basic vulnerability scan once per year, but fail to conduct penetration tests, phishing simulations, or incident response drills. At the risk-informed tier, organizations begin to develop structured security testing programs, ensuring that cybersecurity teams conduct assessments at defined intervals. However, testing efforts may still be limited in scope, with inconsistent application of security exercises across different business units and security domains. A mid-sized financial services company at this level may conduct penetration tests on external-facing web applications, but fail to simulate insider threats or assess cloud infrastructure vulnerabilities. At the repeatable tier, organizations implement a fully structured security testing and exercise framework, ensuring that all security controls are validated continuously through simulated attack scenarios. Security testing governance is formalized, with leadership actively involved in reviewing testing outcomes, ensuring that remediation plans are implemented effectively and tracking long-term security improvements. A multinational healthcare provider at this stage may conduct quarterly red team exercises, requiring security teams to detect and mitigate simulated cyber attacks against critical medical systems and patient data repositories. At the adaptive tier, organizations employ AI-driven attack simulations, real-time penetration testing automation, and predictive adversary emulation to continuously test, refine, and enhance cybersecurity strategies. Security testing and exercises are fully integrated into enterprise cybersecurity governance, ensuring that organizations dynamically adjust their security posture, optimize response readiness, and adapt to evolving attack techniques in real time. A global cloud service provider at this level may use AI-powered adversary emulation to simulate evolving nation-state attack tactics, ensuring that security teams remain prepared for advanced persistent threats. Improving security through tests and exercises aligns with multiple controls in the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-53, ensuring that organizations implement structured security validation models and proactive cybersecurity readiness frameworks. One key control is SI-6 security function verification, which requires organizations to regularly test and validate security controls to ensure their continued effectiveness against evolving cyber threats. A multinational technology company implementing this control may conduct automated security function validation using breach and attack simulation tools to continuously assess firewall, intrusion detection, and endpoint security configuration. Another key control is IR-3 incident response testing, which mandates that organizations conduct regular security incident response exercises to ensure that security teams are prepared to detect, contain, and recover from cyber attacks. A global financial institution implementing this control may conduct quarterly ransomware response exercises, ensuring that all departments know their roles and responsibilities in containing and mitigating a ransomware incident. Improving security through tests and exercises also aligns with ID.IM-02 security awareness training, which requires organizations to educate employees, security teams, and executives on cybersecurity threats by incorporating lessons learned from security tests, phishing simulations, and attack exercises. This control ensures that organizations use real-world security testing results to refine training programs, improve user behavior, and strengthen the human element of cybersecurity. A global logistics company implementing this control may use insights from phishing attack simulations to enhance employee training, reducing susceptibility to social engineering attacks. These controls can be adapted based on organizational size, industry, and cybersecurity maturity. A small business may implement basic security testing measures, ensuring that vulnerability scans and phishing simulations are conducted at least quarterly to educate employees on cybersecurity risks. A large enterprise may deploy automated security validation platforms, AI-driven penetration testing tools, and continuous adversary emulation exercises to ensure that security teams receive real-time assessments of evolving cyber threats. Organizations in highly regulated industries such as finance, government, and healthcare may require legally mandated security testing, structured cybersecurity readiness assessments, and compliance-driven security exercise audits to ensure ongoing security validation. Auditors assess an organization's ability to improve through security tests and exercises by reviewing whether structured, documented, and continuously enforced cybersecurity testing frameworks are in place. They evaluate whether organizations implement structured security exercise models, enforce real-time adversary simulation policies, and integrate predictive security validation into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. If an organization fails to conduct security tests and exercises effectively, auditors may issue findings highlighting gaps in security testing coverage, weak alignment between security assessments and risk management strategies, and failure to integrate structured security validation policies into cybersecurity governance. To verify compliance, auditors seek specific types of evidence. Security testing reports and structured cybersecurity exercise documentation demonstrate that organizations formally define and enforce structured cybersecurity validation models. Incident response drill evaluations and adversary simulation tracking reports provide insights into whether organizations proactively assess and mitigate cybersecurity risks through structured security testing frameworks. Threat modeling reports and predictive cybersecurity risk assessments show whether organizations effectively track, monitor, and enhance security defenses based on real-world attack scenarios. A compliance success scenario could involve a global financial services firm that undergoes an audit and provides evidence that cybersecurity testing and exercise processes are fully integrated into enterprise cybersecurity governance. Ensuring that security teams continuously assess, validate, and optimize security controls based on evolving cyber threats, auditors confirm that cybersecurity testing policies are systematically enforced, security validation processes are dynamically adjusted based on risk exposure, and enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance frameworks align with structured security testing governance requirements. In contrast, an organization that fails to implement structured cybersecurity testing frameworks, neglects dynamic security assessment revalidation, or lacks formalized cybersecurity readiness exercise workflows may receive audit findings for poor cybersecurity risk awareness, weak security exercise governance, and failure to align cybersecurity testing strategies with regulatory compliance mandates. Organizations face multiple barriers in ensuring that cybersecurity testing and exercise strategies remain continuous and effective. One major challenge is lack of automation in security validation processes, where organizations fail to implement real-time adversary simulation tools, leading to outdated or incomplete cybersecurity testing methodology. Another challenge is failure to align security exercise policies with evolving cybersecurity threats, where organizations do not update security testing frameworks based on new attack techniques, increasing exposure to high-severity cybersecurity risks. A final challenge is over-reliance on basic vulnerability scanning, where organizations focus only on automated scans instead of conducting full-scale penetration tests, red team exercises, and adversary emulation drills. Organizations can overcome these barriers by developing structured cybersecurity testing and exercise frameworks, ensuring that security validation strategies remain continuously optimized, and integrating real-time cybersecurity exercise tracking models into enterprise-wide cybersecurity governance strategies. Investing in automated security validation platforms, predictive cybersecurity risk analytics, and AI-driven adversary emulation solutions ensures that organizations dynamically assess, monitor, and refine cybersecurity testing strategies in real time. Standardizing cybersecurity testing governance methodologies across departments, subsidiaries, and external business partners ensures that security validation policies are consistently applied, reducing exposure to cybersecurity threats and strengthening enterprise-wide security governance resilience. By embedding cybersecurity testing and exercises into enterprise cybersecurity governance strategies, organizations enhance cybersecurity risk awareness, improve regulatory compliance, and ensure sustainable cybersecurity risk management strategies across evolving cyber risk landscapes. That wraps up today's discussion on framework. Don't stop here. Head over to cyberauthor.me to explore more cybersecurity topics and discover a best-selling book covering NIST and other critical cyber frameworks. Please like, rate, and review this episode on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, remember that knowledge is power.